Imagine waking up in a land that isn't yours, where every sunrise belongs to a distant king across the ocean. A land where faith ruled as fiercely as the sword, and survival meant obeying both God and empire. This was life in the Spanish colonies of the 1700s. From the silver mines of Peru to the sugar plantations of the Caribbean, millions lived and died under the shadow of Spain's golden age. An empire glittering with wealth, but built on blood, faith, and control. Welcome to the world of the Spanish colonies, where paradise and oppression walked hand in hand. By the 1700s, Spain's empire stretched across the Americas, from California to Chile, from Cuba to the Philippines. But life inside these colonies was anything but uniform. The Crown's iron grip tried to shape every corner of its vast domain, yet geography, local customs, and class created worlds within worlds. At the top stood the Peninsulares, Spaniards born in Europe, sent to rule. Beneath them, the Criollos, Spaniards born in the colonies, often wealthy, yet denied the highest power. Below them, mestizos, indigenous peoples, and enslaved Africans formed the backbone of society. The workers, farmers, and servants who made the empire function. It was a pyramid of privilege, carved by birth, race, and faith. The church was everywhere. In cities, grand cathedrals towered over the plaza, symbols of both hope and dominance. Missionaries journeyed deep into jungles and deserts, converting indigenous peoples by persuasion or by force. To be Christian was to be civilized. To resist was to be a heretic, or worse, a rebel. Faith offered comfort, but it also became a tool of control. Every baptism, every confession, every marriage, recorded, tracked, and reported to both priest and crown. In the Spanish colonies, God and empire were one. The wealth of Spain was built on the backs of the colonies. Silver from Potosi, sugar from Cuba, coffee from Colombia, gold from Mexico. In the silver mines, men descended into darkness for hours, inhaling dust that turned their lungs to stone. On plantations, enslaved Africans endured the whip under the Caribbean sun. Yet for every coin minted in Madrid, countless lives were spent unseen. Still, rebellion simmered. From indigenous uprisings to secret plots by Criollos longing for independence, the 1700s were an age of quiet resistance. The calm before the storm that would one day shatter the empire. For the average colonist, life revolved around the land, the church, and, well, survival. In cities like Lima or Mexico City, elite families flaunted European fashions, powdered wigs, lace dresses, ornate carriages. But outside the plazas, life was harsh. Farmers rose before dawn, craftsmen bartered goods, and indigenous communities fought to preserve traditions forbidden by colonial law. Still, amid the oppression, cultures mixed, Spanish, African, and native influences blending into something new, the beginnings of Latin America's unique identity. Music, food, and language became acts of quiet rebellion and unity. By the late 1700s, cracks began to form in Spain's global empire. The Enlightenment in Europe planted dangerous ideas: liberty, equality, self-rule. Colonists began to question the divine right of kings. And when Napoleon invaded Spain in 1808, that question would explode into revolution across the Americas. But in the 1700s, that storm was still gathering. For now, the colonies still served their master. The mines still rang with hammers. The plantations still whispered in the wind. And the dream of freedom was just beginning to burn. The 1700 Spanish colonies were a world of contradictions: faith and fear, wealth and suffering, oppression and hope. They were the heartbeat of an empire and the birthplace of nations yet to rise. History is written by the conquerors, but lived by the conquered.